Good morning, everyone. I woke up today and I'm just so thankful. So thankful. I have been going through a rough time, in my life, and, I am definitely, not kind of verbal with it, especially like on social media, platforms and everything. But, I just try to go through seasons with support and help from close family and friends. But I just, try to seek what this season is trying to teach me. And I just want to be of encouragement for someone who, like me, thinks that, this season is very dry. God is not hearing me. God is not doing anything. And it looks really gloomy. Like, it looks really gloomy. And I know. And I wrote this yesterday, or actually this morning, because there was an email from work that made me laugh. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I haven't genuinely laughed in like for it seems like forever. And it says, you will smile and you will laugh again. Trust me. There are days when it will look like it's so gloomy, like you do not see the light of the end of the tunnel. All you see is darkness. But know that a day is a day and a moment is a moment. And if you intentionally work on yourself, and take captive those thoughts that may ruin your day, eventually you will be more optimistic. And I had a really rough day a few days ago, and it just looked like every time I took a step I couldn't help but end up having tears in my eyes because of what was going on, what I was dealing with emotionally and everything. And I just was like, this day is not good. But the days got better. And the days got better to the day today. I'm fine. It's so much better than what I was a few days ago. And I just want to encourage those who don't understand really seasons. And I know that God has brought me through seasons just like this in the past, and I remember smiling again. I remember being happy. I remember doing this, and so I just definitely want to say this is just only a phase, and God is teaching you something. God is teaching you something even in the midst of pain. But what I ask God is that I even see you during this time. Like, even though, my circumstances and everything is surrounding me, God, I want to see you. God, I want to, feel this and that. And just, miraculously, there have just been random people. Like, even the day that I was really down, someone had said, it was like so random. And she was like, you know what, Amber, you're a good mom. And I said, thank you, because you really don't know how much that meant to me. She didn't know that. She probably was just saying it, but God sees you, and He sends His word, first of all, but He also sends people to reaffirm what He's already said about you. And I needed that in that moment. Little did she know. And so even, several days, like, random people from different seasons of my life have just, shared like goodness towards me. And Amber, you're amazing. You've done this, and all of this stuff that, I was like, okay, Lord, I hear you. I hear you. And it's not like it was solicited or anything. And I just got a instant message. She was like, hey, just sending love your way. And I was like, it was so random. And so my prayer was, Lord, I see you. I want to see you in the midst of what I'm going through. And I listened to Priscilla Shirer, one of her messages like a long time ago, and she said, it's not coincidence, it's God. And I have to be reminded that some things that we say, oh, it's just a coincidence that they just reached out to me after I prayed, that I see God and goodness in the midst of my week. No, I have to know that is God answering my prayers. And so please understand and please know that God has not forgotten about you. I even, listened to something yesterday, and she said, we do not serve a do-nothing God. And that encouraged my heart, because sometimes you're like, God, where are you in this season? I don't hear you. I don't see you. I don't see you working on my situation. But God wants us to trust that he's doing something. And I know that he's just never not doing anything. Like, he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to leave her over here for a minute while I go work on somebody else. Because that's not the nature of God. God is omnipresent. God is working on everybody's behalf at the same time. And I was just so encouraged by what she said. And so even though it may not look like your situation is reversing or turn your prayers up to God and know, and just say to yourself, I do not serve a do-nothing God. And that just encouraged my heart, just 10 times. And so I just definitely want to leave you with this verse, because it was just so prevalent. And even as all of this stuff was happening, all them random people just came up in my life to encourage me in this season. I thank God for answering my prayer, and I thank God for using these people, which they don't know that they've been used, or maybe they don't know that they've been used, I don't know, to encourage my heart during this. But Isaiah 43, the second half of verse 1 and verse 2 says, do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they will not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be scorched, nor will the flame burn you. And I am just so encouraged by his word that he said, as you go through, you will not be harmed. I am with you, and I go before you. And if you are a believer, and if you know that God is for you, there was a Facebook post that says, is there anything too hard for God? No, there's nothing too hard for God. But we have to turn our belief to know that there is nothing too hard for God, and that he's always working on our behalf if we can just, sit still and trust him at his timing and his word. And I'm just so thankful that I am encouraged on this day, because a few days ago I did not have this type of encouragement, and I had to sit with myself, and I had to allow God to work through me and allowing me to learn the lessons during that day, during that moment. And I am just here to encourage you that God is still with you, and that God still loves you. He has redeemed you, and he has called you his. And I just want to encourage everyone on today.